Hello and howdy and welcome back to City Skylines 2. April has just ended and we have an amazing collection of maps that you will need to check it out. I have gathered 15 maps that have come out in April, whether it be North American or European, ranging from difficult to easy, that is, maps that have challenging terrains to maps that are completely, if not mostly flat. But before we start, if you enjoy this video, then don't forget to leave a like, subscribe if you're new and want more content like these. And thank you to these for supporting me via Patreon. And thank you for watching the video and I hope you enjoy the rest of it. Porto Portugal, made by Leonards. Porto is the second largest city in Portugal after Lisbon. It has a municipality population of 248,769 people in an area of 41.42 km square. Located along the Douro River estuary in the northern Portugal, Porto is one of the oldest European centers and its core was proclaimed a World Heritage Site by UNESCO in 1996. This map is a European themed map with a climate ranging from -5 to 33 degrees Celsius. It lies in the northern hemisphere and has a 42% of buildable area. It only has road and airways outside connections, and in terms of natural resources, it has 52.7 km square of fertile land, 246 kilotons of forestry, and 25.5 kilotons of ore. The wind originates from here in the corner and it flows outwards, giving you a decent wind throughout the map. The groundwater is nicely laid out in small patches throughout the map. The starting area is located here with a highway connection inside it. Because this map doesn't have any electricity or water outside connections, there is no electricity connection in the starting area, making the build even more challenging and making you rely on wind power, which is actually more than efficient here. The main key location or point of this map is the river flowing in the middle. Because the terrain in this map is so drastic, you get these really cool dips, and in the valleys you have the river itself. And as you are approaching towards the coast following the river, you will come across this bridge, the only bridge connecting both the sides of the island. This map definitely lacks in certain areas, but because of its challenging terrains and some beautiful backdrops of mountains in the distance on one side and the ocean on the other, makes this map enter the top 15 spot in this video. This map demands all your attention and focus to turn this beautiful landscape into something even more beautiful. A challenging map for sure, but I think it's worth a shot. Stevens Bay, made by AT Alpha Juliet. A beautiful map which is an altered version from the original Owens Bay by GIFs. The overall story and lore of this map is based on the character and the story that City Planner Plays creates. You can check out the Paradox mod description for the same. But speaking of the map, this is a North American themed map which has a climate ranging from 11 to 27 degrees Celsius. It lies in the equator and has 39% buildable area. It has all the outside connections, and in terms of natural resources, it has 56.4 km square of fertile land, 113.6 kilotons of forestry, and 28.5 kilotons of ore and 18.1 kilotons of oil. Wind originates from the northwest part of the map and flows outwards. The wind speeds are decent in other areas of the map. The groundwater deposits are scattered here and there. Not a lot of groundwater, but most of it is thoughtfully placed around the lakes. There is one starting area in this map and it's located right at the edge of 529 tiles. This starting area fulfills all your basic needs. It has the road, railway, electricity, water and sewage, and you also get 2 lakes in the starting area. The key location of the map range from all the rivers that flows from the mountains and meet to form one river which flows to the ocean. You have a lot of lakes that are scattered around the map. The other key point of the map are its winding roads and railways. The small and the rolling hills make this map terrain a lot diverse, and you get to see these sudden drops in the landscape which looks really cool. The backdrop is also really nice and well thought out. Overall, a pretty good map with a lot of potential. Ubinsk, made by SA3PLU, a long forgotten place in the Caucasus Mountains. Once upon a time, there was a small settlement here called Ubinsk, but the inhabitants abandoned it due to difficult conditions. This map is a European themed map with a climate ranging from -13 to 24 degrees Celsius. It lies in the northern hemisphere and has 50% buildable area. It has only 3 outside connections: road, railways, and airways. In terms of natural resources, it has 57.6 km square of fertile land, 136.2 kilotons of forestry, and 49.1 kilotons of ore and 39.1 kilotons of oil. The wind originates from the top right of the map near the Broad End district and it flows outwards. You will get decent winds in the rest part of the map. Groundwater is nicely spread out near the settlements and around the river, and some are scattered in the hills in form of pockets. There are 3 starting areas: Old Ridge Springs, Barlowdale, and Broad End. Because there is no electricity and water outside connections, you will have to rely on windmills and other alternatives. Barlowdale having the strongest of the winds out of all the 3 starting areas. This map features a bunch of key locations, first one being the small creek that flows through the map. It is a little dry in some areas, and if you think about it, this actually makes sense if you keep the lore of the map in the mind. The second, which is the main key thing about the map, are all these remains or ruins or signs of settlements here that the mapmaker has made. It goes to show you that this place was once inhabited by the people, but now it's all barren. There are ruins of roads, which is so well made. And then we have like these buildings over here. The landscape consists of more of very big rolling hills combined with smaller ones that creates a really nice breakup in them. Then in the valley where we have all our settlements, you get more flat and buildable area. Really cool map, and the backdrops make it even more beautiful. Wellington, New Zealand, made by Lane Gandy. Wellington, the capital of New Zealand, sits near the North Island's southernmost point on the Cook Strait. Being a compact city, it encompasses a waterfront promenade, sandy beaches, a walking harbour, and colourful timber houses surrounding the hills. This is an European themed map with a climate ranging from 5 to 28 degrees Celsius. It lies in the southern hemisphere with a buildable area of only 16%. The lowest among all our maps in today's list. It has all the outside connections, and in terms of natural resources, it has 25.1 km square of fertile land, 291 kilotons of forestry, 42.5 kilotons of ore, and 35.7 kilotons of oil. The wind originates from the mountains in the northwest and it flows outwards, giving you decent winds to strong winds near the shore. The groundwater is scattered here and there in small pockets. You don't get too much, but it's there, and I mean, you got the ocean, so you shouldn't be worrying about that. The starting area is right in the middle with some roads already laid out for you. You get electricity, water, and sewage connections right in the starting area. Railways is also not too far from it up the north. And speaking of the map itself, do I have to really explain it? I mean, it's Wellington. Wellington is such a beautiful city with these amazing hills and then occasional flat areas, the sandy beaches, and everything. And actually, the map per se should not come in challenging map section. It's moderately difficult, but I think having only 16% buildable area and having only that much flat land and the rest being slightly hilly and difficult terrain, making a good use out of this map with its 16% buildable area is the most challenging part. In terms of key locations, the most noticeable of them all is the beach, giving you the beautiful views of the ocean and the ships passing by. It also has the plaza area in the middle made for you. which, if I am right, it's the Basin Reserve Cricket Ground in the middle of the city. Then right above it you have the ports wait for you with amazing quay wall work and the rail line coming to the harbor. Of course, you get a lot of these small patches of flat valleys in between the hills where you can have your developments or even the hillside of developments on these hills as they are not that steep. Overall, a beautiful map with lots of elevation changes and beautiful views all around. Shizuku Bay made by Lecrix, with a landscape that remains entirely untouched with a network of two-lane highways and rail lines. The land is open and raw and has expansive coastlines. This is a North American theme map with a climate ranging from 11 to 27 degrees Celsius. It lies in the equator and has 26% of the buildable area. It comes with almost all the outside connections, and in terms of natural resources, it has 89.4 km square of fertile land, 290 kilotons of forestry, 29.5 kilotons of ore, and 12.2 kilotons of oil. The wind originates from the hills and flows outwards. You will see decent wind speeds in other parts of the map. You will also see some really thoughtful placements of the groundwater resources in the map as well. Starting area is also quite simple and it gets your highway and rail and electricity connections here. This map is same as Wellington. It has its flatter areas, but because this map has so many small hills and varying terrain with such a little buildable area, making good and full use out of this map is the most challenging part. The major key locations of this map to me is this bridge and this narrow passway for the ships. This is the tiniest gap and you have full-size ships passing here so close to each other. But speaking of the map itself, it is so beautifully made as no matter where you look with this fog, you will still just barely see the islands or tall mountains or hills in the distance, almost engulfed by the fog. It looks like a fantasy or something out of Pirates movie. The winding roads and railways and the overall network that is done on the map is also very beautiful, and I think this map is perfect for some coastal and Bahamas type of builds. Overall, beautiful map and has quite a lot of potential. Westridge made by I Am Not James, a large island between the mountains, rivers and forest. This is North American themed map with a climate ranging from 8 to 30 degrees Celsius. It lies in the northern hemisphere with a buildable area of 36%. It has almost all the outside connections. In terms of natural resources, this has 68.7 km square of fertile land, 290 kilotons of forest, 116 kilotons of ore and 139 kilotons of oil. The winds originate from this part of the map and it flows outwards with decent to good winds in other parts of the map. You will also find many small pockets of groundwater spread out throughout the map. You get to choose between 3 starting areas and all of the 3 provide a different experience to start your city with. The best thing about this is that all the 3 starting areas have road and railway access, but only 2 of them have the big power lines going through them. This is again one of those maps which shouldn't belong to moderate difficult maps, but because of its less buildable area and having hills and mountains around it, it creates some level of challenge, but you still get a pretty flat map, if not completely flat. There are 2 main key locations or points in the map. The first are these low-lying hills in the middle, and then we have the bigger mountains on the edges and the ocean on the other side. The second main point is basically the networks that the mapmaker has made. It looks so clean and minimalist and looks awesome. It's a pretty straightforward map with lots of potential. Asheville made by Funkenstein. Is there any chances you know someone named Frankenstein? You know, Just asking. Asheville is a city in North Carolina's Blue Ridge Mountains, known for a vibrant art scene and historic architecture, including the dome-topped Basilica of St. Lawrence. This is North American theme map with a climate ranging from -13 to 24 degrees Celsius. It lies in the northern hemisphere and has a buildable area of 51%. It only has 4 outside connections: road, railways, airways, and electricity. In terms of natural resources, it has 181 km square of fertile land, 174 kilotons of forest, 209 kilotons of ore, and 44.7 kilotons of oil. The wind originates from here with a pretty big radius and it flows outwards, giving you a decent wind in other parts of the map. Groundwater is beautifully laid out in the several small pockets throughout the map, and you get only one starting area in the middle here with railway connection inside it. Despite having electricity as outside connection, it actually is coming via the rail lines. But speaking of the map itself and its key location, the main one you will get to see are the 3 beautiful interchanges that Mapmaker has made over here. They all look awesome. Then other key locations of the map are these 2 golf courses, one of being near to the mountain and the other being near to the river, both providing you with the basic shape to expand your golf course. Overall, as you can see with the ground shot, the terrain is quite bumpy yet flat, and the mountains on the edges of the map giving you a proper backdrop. Blackpearl, made by Komuto Hirovato. Blackpearl is an island map that features almost everything, from beaches to mountains to rivers to lakes to canyons, etc. This is a North American theme map with a climate ranging from 26 to 41 degrees Celsius. It lies in the equator and has 33% buildable area. It has all the outside connections, and in terms of natural resources, it has 46.3 km square of fertile land, 398 kilotons of forestry, 4.8 kilotons of ore, and 1.3 kilotons of oil. The wind originates from here and flows outwards, giving you slow to decent winds in rest of the map. Groundwater is nicely laid out along the river and lakes and the other areas. You get to choose from 2 starting areas, and in either of them you have railways, road layouts, and electricity. The main reason to include this map in this list was because of its similarity with the DayZ map that I showed you in the last top 10 maps video. It has layouts of towns already made for you. Then you have this distinct look in the map that looks like this is from a game. And for key locations, I mean, where do I even start? The mapmaker has made so many layouts in different areas of the map. Then you have lots of farmland spread out nicely. Then you have these lakes, and then on the back side of the map you get these 2 cylindrical shaped quarries. Then on this island here you get a rough layout for an airport, and the ships border around the map, so you have plenty of opportunities to hook them anywhere. You also have a lot of beach potentials here, and I think this is an all-rounder map and you can create something fun here. Pinetop, made by Civil Grimes. Created using the height map of Pinetop, Lakeside, Arizona. This is a town in Navajo County, founded in 1984 when the neighboring towns of Pinetop and Lakeside merged. This is a summer resort town and second home area for Arizona desert residents. This is a North American theme map with a climate ranging from -5 to 36 degrees Celsius. It lies in the northern hemisphere with a buildable area of 82%. It has 4 outside connections: road, railways, airways, and electricity. In terms of natural resources, it has 154 km square of fertile land, 705 kilotons of forestry, 87.9 kilotons of ore, and 88.2 kilotons of oil. The wind originates from here and flows outwards, giving you decent to strong winds in other parts of the map. The groundwater is basically everywhere on this map, and make sure to isolate and remove groundwater if you are going to place industries, as the ground pollution can contaminate groundwater. You have one starting area right in the middle here where you get the road, rail lines and electricity in it. The land is also divided into parts by the rivers flowing from the lakes. As you can see from the ground level, this map is borderline flat with very expansive hills that have very low heights, and as you go to the edges, you get some elevation changes there. The only key locations on this map are the beautiful lakes that form into small rivers or streams that connect and then continue on to another lake, which then continues to the outside connection. The network work is also really well made in the map, and the very few major elevation changes are also a very happy welcome. Again, this is another one of those maps that doesn't deserve here. It's kind of easy medium difficulty map, hence we added it here. Split, Croatia, made by Fragan Art. Made from the real-life city of Split, historically known as Palato, is the second largest city of Croatia. This is an European theme map with a climate ranging from -5 to 35 degrees Celsius. It lies in the northern hemisphere and has 44% buildable area with all the outside connections. In terms of natural resources, it has 81.7 km square of fertile land, 99.7 kilotons of forestry, 17.3 kilotons of ore, and 15.4 kilotons of oil. The wind originates from the ocean and flows outwards, or in this map's case, upwards, giving you weak to decent winds throughout the map. The groundwater is laid out in three big patches, as you can see here. With only one starting area as the option, it has railways, electricity, and roads already inside it. The ground, as you can see here, is quite bumpy and uneven, which will give you a decent challenge to build on. And if you think this is all the buildable area, then you might have it got wrong. Over here on the top of this mountain, we have some more hilly lands as well, where you can have some villages or industries tucked away from the main city down below. In this map, we have a custom highway which has green median in between, and it flows smoothly from hill to hill really well. The major key point or thing about this map is its similarity and look to the real life location, and how it kind of naturally has those areas where you can have some particular types of builds, and overall a pretty good European map. Ostuni Puglia, made by Joe Frank 98. Ostuni is a city in Italy's Apulia region known for its whitewashed old town. Ostuni Cathedral combines Gothic, Romanesque, and Byzantine elements, while the arched Porta San Demetrio is one of the two remaining medieval gates. This map is an European themed map with a climate ranging from 5 to 31 degrees Celsius. It lies in the northern hemisphere and has 87% of buildable area. This map only comes with road and railway as the outside connection, and in terms of natural resources, it has 502 km square of fertile land, 161 kilotons of forestry, 14.7 kilotons of ore, and this map has no oil. The wind originates from the northeast part of the buildable area and flows outward, hence on the coastline you will see some decent winds. For groundwater, let's just say you will never run out of groundwater. One caution again is that make sure you have place for industries and remove the groundwater there, otherwise it will get contaminated. The starting area is spread out really nicely here. You get three options: either you start at the coast or start right in the middle with no water, or do both, spacing out your city really nicely. Starting area also has electricity connection and water and sewage connection coming via the roads. Despite being flat map, the creator has done a really good job in decorating the map and trying to get the real life tree pattern everywhere, which is super cool. It also has surprisingly a pretty good landscape with very low rolling hills in the middle and increasing the elevation as they go towards the east. Despite having not many key locations except the rolling hills and a few rivers coming out from the near coastlines, this map has a very good potential for your European themed cities. Smallmouth Lake made by Spectre Mishka. This map is made from the height map and overlay of a real-world region of Correctionville in Woodsbury County, Iowa. This is basically a Midwestern American style map, and it is again a North American themed map with a climate ranging from -14 to 31 degrees Celsius. It lies in the northern hemisphere with a buildable area of 82%. It has 4 outside connections: road, railways, airways, and electricity. In terms of natural resources, it has 583 km square of fertile land, 331 kilotons of forestry, 13.5 kilotons of ore, and 2.5 kilotons of oil. The wind originates from this part of the map and flows outward, giving you decent to strong winds in the rest of the map. Groundwater is beautifully laid out around the rivers, lakes, and some other small pockets that are scattered here and there. It has only one starting area, which has all the necessary resources you will need. Because the mapmaker has taken some creative liberty, for some key locations we have 2 huge lakes on the map, this one being the Smallmouth Lake itself. The big squares and rectangles you see here are basically the edges of expansive farmland near this town. If you ever want to create a rural American or European build or have multiple small towns connected via highways and farms, then this map is the perfect choice for it. It has some lumps and bumps on it, but for some rural builds, this map is going to be a no-brainer for anyone. Buena Vista made by Little Bird. Straddled between the misty redwood hills and rugged Pacific coastline, Buena Vista blends in the dramatic terrain of the Lost Coast with the laid-back energy of Northern California. This map is a North American themed map with a climate ranging from 5 to 23 degrees Celsius. It lies in the Northern Hemisphere with a 61% of buildable area. It has all the outside connections, and in terms of natural resources, it has 106 km square of fertile land, 144 kilotons of forestry, 70.8 kilotons of ore, and 66.8 kilotons of oil. The wind originates from the ocean and flows outwards, giving you decent winds throughout the map. There are few pockets of groundwater scattered throughout the map, and there is only one starting area, and here you will get all the necessary things that you will need. You have multiple areas where you can start your city. You have railways, and all electricity and water and sewage is located underground outside of your site. The main key attraction point of the map is definitely gonna be the amount of beaches the map maker has made. This goes to show you can make a coastal North Californian style resort city over here. It also has some beautiful lakes and rivers flowing through the map with a good network already done for you. Overall, pretty cool map, and is also quite flat, hence easy to make your dream city. Churchill made by Onisama. Churchill is a town in Hudson Bay in the far north of Manitoba, Canada. It's best known for polar bears that inhabit the area in the fall. The area is also famous for offering the chance to see the wintertime northern lights and some seasonal bird watching. This is a North American themed map with a climate ranging from -41 degrees to 25 degrees Celsius. It lies in the northern hemisphere with a buildable area of 63%. It has 4 outside connections: roads, railways, airways, and waterways. In terms of natural resources, it has 59.7 km square of fertile land, 204 kilotons of forest, 87.5 kilotons of ore, and 22.9 kilotons of oil. The wind originates from this teeny tiny point over here, and it flows in all directions, and you will have plenty of wind power in rest of the map. Groundwater is also well laid out throughout the map. You only have one starting area, but it is located right in the end where Churchill is located. You have some basic grid work over here and access to railways and electricity through the roads. There are many key locations in the map. The biggest of them all are these beautiful lakes over here. The second big location or part of the map are these edges of the land where you have these low level ocean pattern which actually looks pretty similar to the real life, and I think the mapmaker has done a beautiful job keeping the main look of these. And lastly, the Prince of Wales fort over here that mapmaker has made, which looks exactly how it looks in real life. Not only this map is flat with some scenic landscape, but it also is quite detailed and it stands out a lot. Overall, a gorgeous map. Mini Metro Vancouver made by Markevi. This is Vancouver, Canada map. The scale is 2.67:1 and it contains suburbs of Burnaby, New West, North and West Van, Richmond, etc. This is a North American theme map with a climate ranging from 1 to 28 degrees Celsius. It lies in the northern hemisphere and has 53% of the buildable area. It has almost all the outside connections, and in terms of natural resources, it has 612 km square of fertile land, 712 kilotons of forestry, 15.3 kilotons of ore and 9.5 kilotons of oil. The wind originates from here and flows outwards, giving you some decent to strong winds throughout the map. The groundwater resources are also present in small patches throughout the map. We have only one starting area and it has all your necessary things. And well, this is Vancouver. What else I need to say about it, eh? Love it, and I think you basically have everything over here. You got Burnaby, North Vancouver, Richmond, etc. You can build it however you want, or maybe something totally different. The network work is really well done, and the lakes and the rivers also look pretty cool. If you're building a Canadian inspired city or just any North American city, then this map is a really good option. So, these were top 15 maps of April 2025. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments, which one you liked the most and which one you are choosing for the next build. Don't forget to drop a like, subscribe if you're new or want to see more content like these. Join my Patreon to support the work that I do. And thanks for watching, and as always, happy building.